Hi everyone. One of the issues I've had with the videos on my channel is the distance from the microphone to myself, as in the case of this Rode video mic that I'm using right now. Sometimes it's very difficult to hear myself when I'm this far away from the camera. I can only go so far with this microphone before the quality of my voice starts to degrade. Now I can get a little bit closer and use the onboard microphones for the Sony ZV-E10. Sony does say these microphones are optimized for voiceovers, but once again the issue is the distance. I have to get pretty close for the audio to sound good. Now there's another option I can use to improve the quality of my voice instead of using the onboard microphones. I can use something like this, a lapel microphone. This is the SmartLav Plus from Rode. Now, normally it should be hooked up to my lapel, but unfortunately during one of my recording sections, this came off with a clip. And this is the third Rode product I've used where the quality is a bit questionable. This does help improve my voice compared to the onboard microphones. But the issue is, once again, is the distance. I am tethered to the camera, and this is about as far as I can go using this microphone. So with all three systems, the biggest factor that limits my vlogs is the distance. I have to stay within the maximum radius of each microphone's pickup pattern. So it took me about 2 years to finally do something about being tied to those three microphone types. This is a game changer for myself. Maybe not for a lot of people because they've been using this device for a while, but you know, someone like me, I really take my time before I decide to go ahead and pick up a new gadget. Now, what has freed me from those three restrictive types of microphones when it comes to distance is the Sony ECM-W2 BT wireless microphone, which I am using right now. And as you can tell, I am pretty far from my camera, yet you probably can hear my voice clearly. Now, I said game changer for myself. Now I have more freedom with my vlogs. I can do whatever I want when it comes to determining the location of my shots, the types of actions that I want to do. I don't feel like this when I'm doing my vlogs. I feel more like this, and I can just do a complete 360. All right, so for this video, I'm just gonna go over my initial impression on this wireless microphone setup, and I'm gonna take it out into different environments to test the audio quality using the receiver itself and also this lapel microphone that goes along with it. I forgot the name of it, but I'll put it in the video later. All right, enough of me talking. Let's get started. I'm back in my mini studio, and what I'm going to do for this portion of this video is I'm going to go over the Sony ECM-W2 BT wireless microphone. I hope I got that correct. I'll give a brief overview of the components of this system, and then I'll give some positive and negative feedback on my initial impressions of this setup. The audio I'm using for this portion of the video is coming from the Rode video mic, so you can hear how it compares to the Sony wireless microphone system. The wireless microphone system comes in this black bag here. I do use it to carry all the components for this system. It's a very simple and portable setup to use. Basically, when you open the box, you will get the transmitter and the receiver with the microphone on a clip, so you can use this to carry it around. It's very convenient. It just clips in like this, and this is the clip that the transmitter and receiver goes on. You also get this windshield that goes on top of the receiver here. I also purchased the lapel microphone that goes with it. I forgot the name of this one, but I'll put it up here so you can see the model number just in case you want to order it. And this allows a more discreet and professional look. When you clip on the receiver to here, it's kind of sticks out. Maybe the viewer's focus is going to be too much on this, especially if you're using the wind muff. So that's something you need to decide if it's worth using this one or the lapel microphone. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very simple setup. It's really made for beginner content creators. Sony does market this to content creators and vloggers. You just take the transmitter and you insert this into the digital interface or the multi-interface shoe of your camera, depending on which model you have. If you want digital audio, you have to make sure that your camera does have the digital interface mount and that the camera is compatible with this microphone. Sony did update the list of cameras on their website that will work with the digital audio. If you don't have that option, then you can go ahead and just use analog mode. You can still use this with any camera, but you won't get the digital audio. And then of course you have this receiver, and it's really up to you where you want to put it, but of course traditionally you put it here somewhere on the lapel area. You might have it here. If you don't want to have this thing hanging from your chest, you can clip it onto your belt and attach the lapel microphone here for a little bit more discreet look. Now I'm going to go over my positive and negative impressions on this microphone setup, so you can decide if this is a good wireless microphone system that you want to use. I did mention that this next section is supposed to be an overview over this wireless microphone system, and I was supposed to give my positive and negative viewpoints about it. When I was going through the footage during editing, I realized that if I added in this section, it was going to be a bit long, and for some of you, you know that my videos can be long, but they also tend to be very detailed and thorough about what I'm talking about. So to keep this video reasonably short, I'm going to go ahead and take this section and make it into another video. So some of you may already know about the components, so let's keep this video for the testing of this device and then save that video if you're interested in knowing about the components and what are its strengths and weaknesses. There are three options on the receiver to record audio. You can record audio only from the receiver. You can do both, which is called mix, from the receiver and the transmitter, or you can just do microphone only, which is recording audio from the transmitter. The whole point of using these types of microphones, the wireless microphones, is not for the excellent sound quality. We know from using Bluetooth earbuds and other wireless type devices, sound quality is kind of iffy compared to wired connections. The whole point of using something like this is freedom. I can get up without being tethered to the camera and just move around however I want. Even if my back is turned towards you, you can still hear my voice clearly. I can freely walk around and describe what I'm looking at, and I'm not going to have this long wire tethered from the camera to me. You can see here there's a lot of debris in the way, but because of this wireless microphone, I can walk freely and I can move around however I want. And that's the whole point of using something like this. No, you will not get superior sound quality out of this, but you get the distance and you get the freedom to move around however you want when you are vlogging. Right now I have the ECM-LV1 lapel microphone hooked up to the wireless transmitter. Let's see if the sound quality is the same or better than just using the wireless transmitter itself. The advantage of using this type of lapel microphone over the receiver, which I have hooked up to my belt here, is it looks more professional and a lot cleaner. Now, the Sony design is a little bit different from typical lapel microphones that you see because it is a stereo microphone. It is picking up left and right channels. So it's really good for recording the sound in the environment that you're in. Let me jump in here real quick and correct a mistake that I've been making throughout this video. I noticed that I was naming the transmitter and receiver incorrectly several times throughout this video. So I'm here to correct that mistake, and also it will give you a chance to hear the difference between the Sony ECM-LV1 and the Rode SmartLav Plus, which I frequently use during my videos. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Rode SmartLav Plus so you can hear the difference. So now I'm using the Rode SmartLav Plus. Just a reminder that if you're going to use this with a digital camera, you need to use a TRSS to TRS adapter. I've read a lot of reviews on Amazon where they have tried to use this particular microphone with their camera and they said it doesn't work. So that is probably the issue why it doesn't work. You need to use that adapter. Throughout the video, I've been incorrectly calling the receiver a transmitter. So this should be called a receiver and not a transmitter. And I've been calling the transmitter a receiver, and that is also incorrect. It is a transmitter. So I apologize for that mistake. Please bear with it throughout this video. I did a lot of footage and it's difficult for me to go back and correct it, but I will post here the correct wording for each device. I'm gonna take a short coffee break. It's almost 12 noon, but I need my caffeine fix. Right now I'm sitting next to a busy street with loud traffic. There's a lot of AC units that are also loud. This will give you an idea how the receiver sounds like in this type of environment. This is how it sounds like when using the lapel microphone that goes with this wireless microphone setup. Is there a difference in the audio quality between these two devices? Go ahead and post it in the comments if you hear anything different. I'm starting to see that this wireless microphone setup does drain battery pretty quickly from the ZBE10. I've recorded probably a total of maybe 15 to 20 minutes of footage today, and the battery is already at 50%. This is not good. You probably need to bring a couple batteries if you're going to record with this wireless microphone setup. Let me switch topics here real quickly. If you are new to my channel, I'm going to give a brief introduction about myself and what my channel is all about. Also, this is a chance for you to hear how the audio sounds coming from the microphone on the receiver of the ECM-W2 BT wireless microphone system. I do have it at mouth level and I am recording indoors in a medium-sized room. I'm a personal trainer with extensive experience in martial arts, the military, marksmanship in firearms, and in health and fitness. I started my YouTube channel a few years ago with health and fitness videos, and recently I've started to include content on content creation, on reviewing gadgets such as digital cameras and smartphones, and some personal experiences I've had in my life. So if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, and please remember to like my videos. It's very helpful to get this content out to more viewers. And let's get back on topic. Another day, enjoying another cup of hot coffee at 12 o'clock noon. So for this portion of the audio, I'm going to show how the audio sounds from the receiver and mix option from this wireless microphone system. Now what you're hearing is the mix mode. So basically the audio is coming from the receiver on the camera and from the transmitter here on my lapel. I do have it set at 20 decibels, and this is all I could do to make sure that it didn't clip or distort all the time. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to add on the ECM-LV1 lapel microphone so you can hear the difference between this one and that one. Now I have the ECM-LV1 lapel microphone hooked up. I can say using the 10 decibel setting as recommended by Sony, I don't see any clipping here on the audio display from the camera. Now you are listening to the audio from the receiver set in receiver mode. I did mention earlier that there isn't a windscreen for the receivers, so if it is windy, you're probably going to pick up the wind noise. But this is how it sounds, and there is some background noise behind me, so that's what you're hearing right now. Let's see if it messes up the audio quality and if you're still able to hear my voice. Do you hear a difference between the LV1 here on my lapel or the receiver from the ECM-W2 BT wireless microphone setup? Let me know in the comments. Earlier we heard the mix option, but the issue was I was a bit close to the camera, so maybe there was some echo there. Right now I'm about 6 feet away, so there's audio being picked up by the receiver and also from myself and the transmitter. So let's see if there is a difference in the audio quality from being far away or close with this mode. So right now I'm about 25-30 meters away from the camera. This is a quick test of the audio performance from a distance. This is a bit far from where I normally vlog. Now Sony claims that this can go up to 200 meters. I did test it out to 200 meters and it seemed like its limit was about 125 meters. In a future video, I will test it out to 200 meters so you can hear what it sounds like. But for the sake of time and keeping this video reasonably short, I'm gonna skip it for this one. So you probably heard there was some clipping and distortion when I was wearing the transmitter here on my lapel. Sony recommends using the 10 decibel setting if you're going to be doing a lot of voice work. Unfortunately, when I did use that setting, you heard what happened. What I recommend to prevent that from happening is actually using the audio channels on your camera's LCD screen and just going through those 3 settings and choosing the one that doesn't have any clipping or distortion for it. So for this scene, I am using actually the 20 decibel setting instead of the 10 decibel setting that Sony and some other sources recommend. Right now, I'm about 50 meters away from my camera. So this will give you an idea of how the audio sounds coming from the transmitter when I am this far away. It is very windy right now. The wind is strong. I am using the wind screen for the transmitter, so hopefully you can hear my voice clearly and not so much of the wind. All right, right now it's very windy and hopefully you can still hear my voice, but this is a good test of how the transmitter performs in windy conditions. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Basically, from my short experience with this wireless microphone system, it frees me from my wired microphones. It allows me to move around more during my vlogs. There are some drawbacks to it, and I think the worst one is the quick battery drain from the camera. Please leave in the comments what do you think about the Sony ECM-W2 BT wireless microphone system. Do you think this is something that you could use for yourself? Please hit that like button, get this video out to more people. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And I will probably use this system for about 6 months, and then I will go ahead and put out a long-term review on it. So until next time, stay safe, keep learning, and aloha.